Go now to DryerBuzz.com and follow at DryerBuzz on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's all about the buzz.
Hey guys, good morning. Happy Saturday, happy weekend. And this is me coming back because, hold on, let me get the sound down. Because I just did my morning podcast a little bit and I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, I still got a whole lot more to say. It's like, girl, you could drop a podcast like Beyonce drop an album. So go get a cover, a thumbnail, go to the podcast. I was reading by, and this is where on Buzz of the Basket, this is where we just kind of go through the timeline. That's all I can do is I'm going through my timeline because I try not to do social media and anything before I do my How to Get Out of Bed podcast. And if you're like, wait, that's a daily podcast, 7 days a week. I do How to Get Out of Bed because I have to figure out. I don't know about you, but I have to figure out each and every day how to get out of bed. I'm still in bed right now. I just literally created a second podcast under the covers. I'm literally under the covers. I had to get up early this morning because my tech guy, DM Web and Computing, I woke up and my Mac didn't, so I had to get some help on my Mac. So right now my Mac is in surgery, on life support in surgery, and DM Web and Computing is trying to bring that back. Let me see, I left a car in there. But listen, I'll share their link. So shout them out. They're in the area. There's a mobile support system. And if you need them to roll up, I'm going to give you that information and let you give them a call. But I was sitting here. Once I get done with the podcast, I always think, okay, what's next on my agenda? I try not to have a real heavy to-do list because I just have a heavy to-do list. And I try to figure out what I can do today that I don't get overwhelmed. Now, I'm a creative, so I'm always in a creative spirit. But then, I went over here and I'm like, let me go look down my timeline. Let's see what's going on. And I went over, of course, everybody starts out with, I don't know about everybody, but everybody actually starts out on YouTube. Everybody would throw something up on YouTube. And because I know how the top 8 work. Then they go over on Facebook. And then I was like, let me go over here on Facebook. No, actually, I went to Twitter. I did. I really did. I did do Facebook, but then I went to Twitter. Twitter is still, y'all, that platform where there's no walls, there's no barriers, there's no time zone, and there's a whole lot of intellectuals, okay? People who are right now breaking down these laws that are coming across in these different states. People who just a little bit more into it than those of us over here on Facebook. Facebook as a platform is still that great escape. Like, I'm going to come and watch and see what you're doing with your family. Y'all are getting the kids off the prom. Still, well, in the southern states, we've already done all that. The northern states, y'all are getting the kids off to the prom. Southern states, we're getting ready for graduation. And Father's Day, where everybody's already thinking about Father's Day because, they all jealous because Mother's Day just passed. And so they dropping hints about, well, make sure y'all keep doing some of that for Father's Day. Listen, sit down, Dad, chill, okay? And so all these things are going on. So what happens is, you start scrolling, you start trolling, because you know how you do, right? And then you start buzzing. You're like, oh, bash that. Oh, how many of you have ever scrolled past something? You like, well, they support let me go back and like. But by the time you scroll back and like, your face is like all twisted and tortured up. Like, really? I'm like, and I'm that person. I'm like, it takes all of that. Why am I following them? Right? Like, look, get out my timeline. So this is the literal timeline review. And I have always been that person. I can delve a little bit over into ratchet, but I love my intellectual people, So my social media is basically 60, 30, 10. 60, that's all y'all. I come and see what all y'all up to, right? That 30%, those are the ones that have, and I'm gonna be real stereotypical here. The 30%, those are the ones that have crawled out the barrel. They done got out. Those are the crabs. They done got out. They out there. They like, look, I ain't trying to do with the float, right? They try to live a little bit different. That top echelon of the middle class. They ain't rich and all that kind of stuff. But they live a little bit differently. I like hanging out with the 30%. I like trying to be in the 30%. And we all trying to get to that top 10%. No, we ain't. Everybody ain't able. We're not, in fact, the matter is, we're not all trying to get there. I keep my eye on that 10%. So when they start making moves, I'm like, man, I need to be able to make some of those moves, right? And really it's 9% of them because we can't even talk about that 1%. And I'm not even over there yet where I can see if y'all are liking this comment or even if this thing is on. I'm still trying to tell y'all what I'm trying to do, okay? So 60, 39, and 1%. 1%, like you ain't 1% gonna make sure we don't catch up and we don't know what they're doing. They're not on social media. They're not putting it on social media, huh? They're like, no, y'all not gonna get this. Somebody already like this with a heart. Thank you so much. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna like it myself. Stop and do what I do. I'm gonna do a share. Guess what I'm gonna do, guys? I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple of watch parties. Because this is the first one. This is the inaugural. Y'all know I need to be up in somebody's speech class. I'm in the South. I have got consonant deletion. Okay, it's a thing. Look it up. It's all up in Ebonics and all of that, right? Consonant deletion. And after going to see my girl Michelle Obama, former First Lady, forever FLOTUS, who said she was a Princeton educated Harvard attorney. I'm like, I'm gonna get like Evander, I'm gonna get like Magic Johnson. I'm gonna go ahead and get in the speech class, y'all. Have y'all listened to Evander lately? Have y'all noticed how articulate Magic Johnson became? Because remember when he first got out, I was like, what is Magic saying? Like, Magic sounded like a Stevie Wonder record. No, I'm just playing. But, no, I'm serious, but I mean, I'm just playing. Like, don't sue me for slander and nothing like that. I'm just saying, it's a speech class. It's a speech class. Okay, and I have come to realize that I have become really lazy because one of the things, you don't use it, you will lose it. And I live in a virtual world where I am typing everything, and I don't speak. I don't hear my voice. I talk a lot on my podcast, but that's literally like all the talking I do all day. You can be around me for the rest of the day, and I have not uttered a word. And I realize that that's a thing. So that's why I'm podcasting again. All right, so what I want to do here, I want to share this podcast. I want to share this broadcast. But I notice it's not. I got to go get another device because it's not giving me the opportunity to do it in a watch party format. So one of the things on my podcast, we do get on the move. We do move about to other rooms. I don't like being tied down, so I'm gonna throw back the covers. We're gonna walk and find this other device so we can do a watch party on this. So one of the things I said I wanted to do with this podcast is called Buzz It or Bash It. As I walk past the laundry room, I can do it from home, do it from anywhere, do it from out and about. If I run up on somebody and I get a chance to do a great review, a great interview or something with them, I want to be able to have something to go. So this is the inaugural Buzz It or Bash It, and this one is like totally dead. So we got to get the charger. But I want to talk about these topics because when I went over to Twitter after I finished scrolling and trolling you guys over on Facebook, I went over to Twitter and I got in some of my lists, my timelines over there, and they were having this real intellectual conversation. And I'm not going to talk about it. I'm smart and I know how to go do some research and some data, but I don't know too much about interpreting these laws. I don't know too much about what the representation is over here, 30 miles. Listen to me, 34 miles from my home here in West Georgia is Alabama. Okay. And right now, people are hella concerned about what has happened under the Gold Dome in Alabama as well as Georgia. And those are states that are messing with the reproductive systems and choices of women. Damn, I said that, didn't I? Wow, reproductive system. What did I just say, y'all? Somebody type that in if you just not here, because I know it's a thing on the delay. And sometimes I just let stuff flow, and I'm like, man, that sounded pretty good, though. Because that sounded like a book right there on the reproductive systems, creation, procreation. I don't even know what I said. I'm going to have to go back. What time stamp is that? Let me get that time stamp. Okay, at the 9:10, I said something really prolific. Okay, all right, write that down. So what's going on, what I'm wondering about is I'm looking at those who I seek to stay abreast of these things. I'm looking at their concern, and they're starting to make me cautious and aware, not afraid, not full of fear, but I'm watching because things that I just remember when we were in a Bush state of living, when Bush was president, it talked about this place that America would get to where we literally would have to gauge where we're going to live and make decisions on based on where we're going to live as to how states reacted to some of these things, proactive and so forth. That there really would come a time in America where you would really have to be concerned about the state in which you live. I mean, literally, like the state, the borders, those kinds of things, the internal borders of this country. And it's funny because, or the irony to this is, when you look at a global map and you look at all of these different bodies, North America, South America. I mean, there was a Facebook thing going around where they asked people to name a country, and people will point to continents, and like everybody think Africa is one. But see, you can't. Africa is not like America. Like that body, that land mass that is known as Africa. Those are different countries, right? Even though we have a huge, we look like we got a huge land mass, and we call it a country as opposed to like Georgia's not a country. I know there was another viral video where dude was trying to explain to his homeboy, listen, we live in a state. He was like, no, he was thinking that New Orleans was a state. He was thinking it was all different. He didn't get, well, he probably wasn't in school. And I'm still trying to figure out if on that video, if they had electricity, because I have never seen young people be in a room or be in a space without all the lights on. I've never seen young people anywhere without all the lights on. I come home every day to grown children, okay, and have to turn lights off. So I'm like, I know they not green. I know they not clean. I know they not conserving energy. I know they don't even know what day is Earth Day. Why are they in the dark creating this video and arguing with each other in that set about whether or not Louisiana and New Orleans was the same thing? I'm talking about that video. It went viral. He was trying to tell dude New Orleans is in Louisiana. He was like, no, you got to go through Louisiana to get to New Orleans and da 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 da. And Lil Wayne is from here. He ain't from Lil Wayne is from New Orleans. He ain't from Louisiana. Oh, Jesus, hurt my brain. Why don't you? Okay? Now, that made me forget what I was talking about. So, again, like, I live outside of Atlanta. So, I ain't all... How concerned do I need to be about Mayor Keisha's mac and cheese? Okay? First of all, Mayor Keisha lives inside Atlanta. She can't run and get the cheese that just simply came... I'm just saying... She lived near a food desert. Even though she mayor, she lived near a food desert, but she got resources, okay? Because she went, even after y'all dogged out her mac and cheese, she went over to Kroger, the head of Kroger, because all the stuff around Georgia they got a supplier diversity program, and she went and talked to somebody, and now they got a program there. If you go buy something at Kroger and you mad about the mac and cheese, well, you can just make a donation that other families don't have to eat mac and cheese, like, because you don't want a family to get to a holiday and all they got to do is eat mac and cheese like Mayor Keisha's mac and cheese. She don't make mac and cheese like DryerBuzz or in the kitchen with DryerBuzz, okay? She not making her own pasta. She not going down the road and getting that good cheese, all right? I don't know what was in that. We don't know what was in that brick of mac and cheese, but I'm just saying she did go and start a wonderful organization that's working with food insecurities, and I love working about and talking about food insecurities. But I'm just saying, Atlanta is inside of, for all of y'all that don't know, Atlanta is made up of, it's a city inside of Georgia, okay? It's in a county, Fulton County. So, and let me tell you, Fulton County budget, Fulton County laws, they can just surpass Atlanta, right? You go, there's a thing called the perimeter, that whole I-285. You go outside that 285, you're in a different city, you're in a different county, right? I can leave my house and drive 30 minutes to Atlanta. I will have gone through probably 4 or 5 cities and 3 counties, right? Start looking at those signs on the side of the road, whether you're under the sound of my voice or not. Okay, y'all need to start paying attention to some of these signs on the road, because you be like, I'm thinking of, because let me tell y'all, that whole running around with a little bit of weed inside the city of Atlanta, go outside the perimeter and it's a whole different thing. Okay, I'm just saying, they let y'all run around with that little bit of weed And people like, what? Yeah. They ain't too much worried about you with with your little hit for the night. That's fine because they know you're gonna go get the munchies, go spend money, and all that kind of thing. But I'm just saying, be mindful. Those are not the same laws. Y'all got to listen. You got to understand this thing. So here, let me get back. Let me get back serious. Buzz it or bash it. Buzz it or bash it inaugural Buzz it or bash it weekend podcast Saturday because I know some of y'all are in the nail salon. I went yesterday because I wasn't bother with y'all today. I went yesterday and I needed a manicure really bad. And I keep telling dude, I'm chipping. I want to go to this guy because my hands feel really great when I go to him. He doesn't like beat him up like, oh girl. But I keep telling him I need you, one thing about coming to you, even though I like you, my polish still feel like it's gonna chip. Whereas whole girl, I feel like I was walking around with a brick on my hand. And hers, but I don't like going to her. But anyway, buzz it or bash it. Y'all tell me, don't you hate when you want to go get your nails done and like your person is like hella book because you don't like setting an appointment because you don't like beholden to that. I'm gonna get this watch party going on over here anyway. So I'm just saying. So buzz it or bash it, just buzz it or bash it. This is me, all of me. So back to the states thing. So after scrolling and trolling y'all on Facebook, I went over to Twitter and I saw my intellectuals, and my intellectuals are like going in on this abortion thing. And one of my intellectuals, she and I do a podcast together on when do we do the podcast? On Tuesdays. We were headed out to the Michelle Obama event. And so we had a couple of months. I said, well, listen, let's go ahead and launch a podcast. Let's talk about the book each week. And then that way when we go, we can see whether or not we were on point, as whether or not we can bring some folks along with us. She's very intelligent. Very intelligent. I'm talking about Angela Stalker. And so I went over and on my Twitter, Twitter has this thing where it shows you a few of the people who are having conversations or their tweets are very active at the time and so forth. And I noticed she had shared a tweet about the abortion laws in Alabama. Let me see. Let me go over here, see if I can pull it. I didn't retweet it or anything, so I'm probably not going to see it. But she had retweeted a tweet of somebody that said that they were either an attorney or they had spoken with. Here it is right here. I spoke to Lynn Paltrow, who has provided legal assistance to women thrown in jail for miscarrying, among other things. She's very smart, and this is all quite bad. And then she had a picture there, which was looks like a statement. And the statement says, one of the frustrating things thus far, one of the frustrating things for us with the Georgia laws and others is that it kind of perpetuates this fraud on the public, Paltrow says. It makes people think it's taking away one right, the right to abortion, but it's creating precedents. See, that's when I get alarmed, right? It's creating precedents for subtracting women from the constitutional community. I'm sorry, I went with D on that, put them in T's in there. Technically, she says, under the Georgia law, a woman could be punished for doing any harm broadly defined to her unborn child, continuing to work, refusing bed rest, refusing a C-section. And as has been her experience in decades of litigation, these punishments are usually selectively doled out. That means they only affecting probably a number of brown people and white people according to class. Okay, so white folks get caught up when they ain't got no money. But anyway, we need to be concerned about this thing, and I know we run to Facebook because we can kind of get away from it. Because if you're on Facebook and if you're not a productive and active citizen, then your algorithms won't show you this kind of things. But if you have dabbled around the intelligentsia at any time, it throws stuff like this in your timeline. Like I can't just go get like where's all that reality show stuff y'all talking about? Why my timeline is looking like this? Why? I don't understand. I want to escape like others. So the good thing, what I love about Twitter is they have finally realized that we like a thread, and so therefore they have this thing has gotten 492 retweets, 637 likes. And some of the comments on here, one says, Molly's, this person is retweeting some of the things. And here's another one says, I really think the drug war parallel is crucial. The point here isn't just that abortions are banned, it's that the state has a cool new way to selectively exercise its power on literally any woman who becomes pregnant. And that's when I posted a thing now. If you are thinking about starting a family, first of all, we're talking about family planning, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of background on family planning. I'm no expert in family planning. But my mother worked for Planned Parenthood for 18 years, okay? And I think it was like 18 years. Yeah, pretty much 18 years. My mother also worked with an abortion clinic. She could not deal with that. She was pro-choice, so she was like, gotta go. And she worked, so I've been around the institution of our productive things that go on with our productive systems all of my life. My mother used to host fireside chats with young women in the neighborhood and community. I can't tell you how many times people come up to me and talking about they attended one of those things. They knew my mom and they talked about it. You already know Mom Buzz was on it, right? And I was able to make all kind of choices. I got 4 kids, so you already know where I stand on this thing. But women should have choice, and I'm also on the stand of that men should have choice as well. But what's pushing these laws, buzz it or bash it, and in my opinion, while you buzz it or bash it, I think when we look at the people who are behind this, they old. And their generation, these quote unquote choices in the Roe versus Wade, which is what it comes up every time we have an election. What comes up with that is the fear and things that their generation had to deal with. Young women who were forced to abort, young women who had to abort because of reasons of rape, incest, and all those things. Those are the things that usually overwhelm the conversation. I don't want to say cloud or anything like that, but they overwhelm the conversation because when you are dealing with somebody who has an absolute fear from a trauma, we're talking about a traumatic experience, and I know women, you don't get over this stuff. And and then add to that the layer in which and how the pregnancy occurred, and you have to make that kind of decision. Listen, if you don't have any understanding, if you don't have no recollection of this, more power and prayers to you. Thank God you got a good life. But I know it's hard, y'all. I'm telling you. And so when you see that you have states, and go out there and I don't like to tell people to Google because Google is crazy right now. We don't know where those results are coming from. We don't know what emphasis and influences they are placing on the information that is delivered first. So even if you see something first, at least go and verify it and make sure you see it again. So I went out there and I was trying to pull up a map to put on my post. And I'm like, I don't trust any of these, but man, I'm looking at all these maps created by all these different sources and things like that. I like to go to Pew Research, PEW, Pew Research, and get all and verify all my data, right? Because that's where a lot of the news sources go when they come and tell you, oh, the stats of this and the stats of that. The great thing about it is you can throw all that away and just go to your timeline. Hell, you can get some real-time data out on these social medias, right? Social media platforms. And so I got to thinking when I read any woman who becomes pregnant, not only any woman who becomes pregnant, any woman who's considered, and first of all, let me say any woman or man. Can we just stop saying any woman? Because women don't just become pregnant. You don't just walk outside and, there's pollen, there's a lot of pollen out there, I'm going to be pregnant. No. Can we just stop saying women and say men and women? Can we make this that's the problem we have now, is that we can separate out and we can define this as a woman. It's not a woman problem, because let me tell you, ladies, I don't know about y'all, and I know there are many places to go. You can go to Craigslist, you can go to the sperm banks, all that kind of stuff. There's many ways a woman can become pregnant, and we live in a country where her becoming pregnant is so separate from what we think men and women do. I don't know how we got to that point, but can we just say, so literally any man or woman who conceives, who becomes pregnant, this is an issue for you. You probably think, oh man, I would never have an abortion. If I got pregnant, I'm keeping my baby. Da 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 da. Okay, well now you become pregnant. You need to make sure, and God, please have you make sure you have done everything, because now let me tell y'all a fear that's gonna overwhelm you from today on. Because I'm putting it on your mind, because you probably ain't never thought about it, and now you're gonna be like, DryerBuzz got me scared as hell. Let me tell you, you need to be. You need to be, because I'm over here already working with and becoming the voice and allowing on my platform the stories of men and women or families. Can we just use that, families? Can we use that, families? Okay. I understand the incest thing is out there and the rape situation is out there, but here's how we gotta get. See, the reason why this law crept in there, because you like, oh, well, they need to deal with the incest. Oh, they need to deal with the rape. You like, okay, well, I don't need to even go vote on that. But let me tell you, but see now, what you don't understand is that crazy person that this county or that zip code or this city done elected, or that state done elected, that crazy person. Well, in order for them to get laws passed that they want to pass, they don't went to the person that you elected, that you think is so beholden to you, and told that person, listen, I'm gonna stack that budget if you vote for this. If you gonna sign up, look, add yours to this. Yours is never gonna get done. They never gonna vote on yours. But if you put yours in here with this, then I can get this through, you can get that through. And they know you really want that, and that's really, like, you really want some nice sidewalks, or you really want a new airport runway, or you really want some green space, or you really want a belt line, or you really want some transportation, you really want some jobs in your neighborhood, you really want to get rid of the food desert and bring in, everybody want a Whole Foods and all this kind of stuff, even though you don't even know what a damn kumquat look like. That's all right too. But I'm just saying, all that stuff that you want has been added in on this stuff, this budget. Oh, we're going to put a little bit of this budget. Your kids going to get a new basketball court. That's going in on this too, if you choose life, right? I'm serious on this thing. So when it says that any family that becomes pregnant needs to be concerned about the state that they live in, okay, now you're getting ready to have a family. Whether y'all got married or y'all just soulmates or whatever, however y'all want to do this. Hey, listen, you're pregnant now. Now guess what? Now you got to be worried about the first trimester. Because guess what? If something doesn't go well in the first trimester, these people in intelligentsia are telling us that you might have to prove. And I don't want to put anything out there that's not. So what I want you to do is go and find you a trusted source. It ain't me, because I'm trying to find one myself that can have this discussion, because I want to know, do we now really, as we have always had to be, that's why you had that great migration to the north and then they're coming back to the south. Do we need to be particular about the states that we live in? Has Georgia and Alabama just became a state? Oh no, not Georgia and Alabama. Do we need to be going to the West Coast? Does that mean that the West Coast, and I got a battery warning, does that mean that the West Coast, which seems to be, if I look at all these maps of states that are now, go out there and look up states with strict abortion laws, because even though you don't plan on having an abortion, even though you would never make that decision, you now might have to prove that if something should happen within your first trimester, you got to go get a, not only, first of all, y'all, it's so many words need to come out of my mouth at this moment, I can't even finish the thought. If you are in one of these restrictive states, I'm going to say restricted states. If you are in one of these restricted states and you are within your first trimester, you need to get to somebody and talk to somebody and see how this impacts you and your family should something happen. Because one of the things is we live in America, and they will disguise so much. We don't know what the end game is on this, and we don't know what the outcome is on this one. We live in a country that, number one, has been trying to reinstitute slavery since slavery. Okay, we live in a country that where the rest of the world has lifted their many third world countries, and the rest of the world has brought their entire poor out of poverty using technology. We live in a country that has spent the past 3 decades trying to figure out how to grow their prison system because they think that that is the way to compete around the world. We live in a country it's basically looking for able bodies. They're not gonna care if your mindset when you have a miscarriage. If you have not ever had or know anyone that has had one, it can you imagine what all they have to go through with that, then having to possibly prove that it was a legitimate miscarriage simply because it happened within that first trimester. First trimester, I need you to get that on your mind. I need you to get that on your mind. And we don't even know how this impacts the second trimester. Because if you have made it against the law to have an abortion in the first trimester, who's to say these people are not gonna do things? You don't know the mind. How many times have you seen somebody just like had a baby somewhere and left it? I'm like, do y'all know how hard it is to have a child? But when your faculties have left you and you're realizing where you are in a place, I mean, I can't even imagine how they do. How many of y'all have seen these viral videos of people in their car on the way to the hospital? Let me tell you, when it gets to that point where you got to push, you got to push. You don't care. Let me tell you, having a baby is a miraculous thing. Women, because I think women are still the ones having them, go through some stuff. I did it 4 times and I still to this day don't want to even remember it. Let alone, I don't want to see no video, no picture. I don't want to, no. When they brought all this, I'm like, I'm going to the hospital. We're going to do this. We're going to do, like, please get all of that away from me. Please. I don't want to see that. I don't even know what it looks like. And I did it 4 times. No C-section. Okay, I'm just saying. So, you need to be concerned that if you are in your first trimester or if you are family planning, I'm not even going to say, I'm not going with them on this if a woman gets pregnant. That's not an if thing. Getting pregnant, first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, is not an if thing. It is something that happens. So if you are in a state of your first trimester, you need to find out where these laws are. You need to make sure that you have proper care. You need to make sure that if you might need some legal advice, listen. You need to figure out the state that you're in and what they are doing. If you didn't go out and vote for governor, if you didn't go out and vote for any of those umpteen representatives that we have under these gold domes, if you drive through your city and you see a gold dome, because y'all don't even know the capitals, I know it. We already seen it, right? Watch this. Patty Betty, what's the capital of Georgia? Ah, that's my baby. She said Atlanta. She said Atlanta, but that's okay. We got consonant deletion going on up here. Atlanta is the state. And not but wait, how many gold domes do we have in Atlanta? Look at my baby talking about it too. Go on, girlfriend. We have this because we are the city. We have a city, and we have the state. We have capital state. So we have. Let me tell you, if you drive by a building and it's got a gold dome, it is probably a judicial building. It probably is where they are meeting in session about these things. You can go into this building. You can sit in on those sessions. You can find out your representative has an office. Your representative has a phone number. Your representative has an email. Your representative today has social media. Your representative old school has fax machine, right? You need to find out how they are voting, more or less, not even how they're voting, but who's writing. What laws are you writing? Because they all get to write and present. They all get to write and present. And some kind of way, while we were, as they say, distracted, they all got together and passed these laws. So buzz it or bash it. And I really didn't come on here to go all in depth on this. But listen, wait. There are women already incarcerated. Somebody says, wait. There are women already being incarcerated for having a miscarriage, and she's tweeting that on this thing. We all know how they're selectively doled out, yet women of a certain economic status can float in for a DNC just whenever they want, right? We know what that DNC is. If you don't, go look it up. I just posted what is next, the 19th Amendment being taken away. Well, that sounds insensitive. Obviously, I'm horrified, enraged, and frustrated on behalf of those not as fortunate with their state leadership and laws. What the hell she mean, not as fortunate? Oh, because we are all not the same. Okay, that's what she mean. She said, and look how she separated. This, I'm reading some comments, and I won't say any names, but I'm reading the comments. She goes, obviously, I'm horrified, enraged and frustrated on behalf of those. No, honey, you up in this too. What did she say? Obviously, I'm horrified, enraged, and frustrated on behalf of those not as fortunate with their state leadership and laws. I'm sorry. How is she classifying herself? Clearly she is fortunate, okay, with the state laws. How is she more fortunate than others? Come on, honey. What is you saying? Anyway, really enjoying my new job. Oh, okay. This is the person who works at Jezebel.com. Patty Betty over there with that water. I'm gonna hurt her on this podcast, the inaugural podcast of Buzzard or Basher, and all of this conversation I just had because my podcast partner retweeted this, and I'm like, whoa, maybe I'm not paying a close enough attention. But listen, in this conversation, y'all, and we continue to hear this conversation, making it a woman problem. Oh, it's a woman problem. This is happening to women. No, it is not happening to women. It's not happening to women. And one of the things is we are headed into an election, whether you know it or not. And if they table this and put this out there, it'll be out there. And so we need to make sure that those that are running are also electing. What you looking for? He back in the back. So those things that you are looking for, you better listen, y'all. Y'all better get some answers. So my question I posted on the thing is that, so do we now have a thing called trimester states? I am wondering, here comes the dog going for his walk. I am wondering, has this created such a thing as trimester states? Meaning that if you are in your first trimester, you need not get caught in this or that state. If you are in your second trimester, I mean, what if you thought about that? You're like, okay, well, we live in Georgia. I'm getting married. Let's talk about doing this thing like the right way. While Patty Betty, hurry up and get this dog out of here so we can finish our conversation. Okay. So my thing about it is, let's just say that I've got wedding invitations out the wazoo, okay? And now you're a family. Now comes family planning. All right, you said, okay, well, let's go ahead and get the kids out the way. Because we done already spent all this time getting our education, getting to this and that class level. You know, the clock is ticking. And so now ticking like that too. And now you're like, okay, we need to go on and knock out 1, 2, 3 kids, however, whatever. Let's go on and get them out the way. But you also want to live in Atlanta, which is hella affordable, you know, for that job that you got on the West Coast or up north, you know, that you get to work from home and all this kind of thing. But is this a state? Is Georgia and Alabama a state? And some of these others, because it was a lot of them, y'all. It's not even just Georgia and Alabama. Georgia and Alabama, you know, because those are, for all intents and purposes, those are the ones that's going to get the most headlines because they have, those two states have a hard, Mississippi as well. I think Mississippi is coming on here too. Let me go, wait a minute. I'm going to put in abortion states, and I probably need to research something else, but and I'm going to go over here. I'm clicked on images so that I can see these maps. And let me see here. Let me take off this 219 thing on here so I can see. There was a map that I saw earlier. Here we go. This one is coming out of course, this one with the Fox News. And Fox News, you know, their demographic is an abortion demographic, right? An incest demographic and so forth. So what it has a map here that is got yellow and green states. And the yellow states, it says, are passed but blocked, challenged in the courts. And so we need to be concerned, like, why isn't these things challenged in the courts? And then the green states are the ones that have introduced measures, and all of it is pretty much up the eastern Midwest. Okay, so definitely it's got Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana. See, I know these states. South Carolina, Tennessee, Missouri, Illinois, Minnesota, Michigan, New York, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. Those are states that have introduced measures. States that have, it didn't have Alabama on it, but this map was probably done before. So Mississippi. Okay, so the ones that are blocked, the ones that have been passed but blocked at the time they did this image was Georgia, Mississippi, Arkansas, Kentucky, Ohio, Iowa, and North Dakota. And then of course at the time Alabama wasn't highlighted on the map, but Alabama just recently passed there, so now they would be highlighted. So the Georgia one, it's got it listed as blocked, but then now I don't know what the date is. Let me see if I can actually go to that post and get us a date reference. The previous page is sending you to. So we're getting redirected over to another one. Let me go over there and see if we can get us at least a date on that. So we can, this better not say no. Okay, this one's as far as May 15, 2019. Alabama latest in a series of states passing restrictive abortion laws. So again, even though, as I say, it is not your intent and you would never think about it, that's not your thing, but you need to be concerned and you need to know how to this. When you're going in there talking to your doctor giving you the wonderful news, that, hey, your family is growing, you are pregnant, you need to find out. Ask your doctor. And doctors, and I know y'all don't want to spend more than 5 minutes with your patients, but you need to be concerned about getting them through safely their first trimester. First of all, you need to be concerned because depending on where you fall on the spectrum, I know if you're a woman of color, you've already got issues. Women on the whole got issues of conceiving, so congratulations if you have conceived. But then within the care, up to labor and delivery and recovery, women of color, our numbers have become epidemic as far as surviving that process. So now on top of that, you need to ask and you need to speak with, if your doctor is illiterate on this, then somebody, all of y'all out there that's got certified this, that, and the other, please become aware of what's going on with these laws so that you can talk with new families about what that first trimester now means and what if something does go wrong in that first trimester. One thing, what you don't want to do is to not have something go wrong. You have not gone in to seek health care. You do not have a pattern of health care, for your unborn child. Okay, you haven't gone to the doctor yet and then something happens. Because we keep getting pushed to a point. And remember, it says selectively doled out. This law and all laws, and I gotta watch my battery one. All laws are selected. They can be on the books, but guess what? It's a whole bunch of them on the books, and they don't affect but a minute few. Okay, a minority few. And I don't want to see some of these places are still trying to get good health care for women, but guarantee you they won't hesitate to build a maternity prison, a maternal prison. They won't hesitate to figure out how to get some slavery out of this. They won't hesitate to build in a wing just for the new non-violent, just simply because you lost a child in your first trimester. Am I trying to invoke fear? No, I'm saying go find somebody to talk to. Part of your family planning, because of the way the states are now in United States of America, because of how divided these states are becoming. You need to be concerned where you're going to start your family. You need to be concerned, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and these other states. There might be states that, hey, you might need to live in Georgia only if you got your tubes tied. I'm just saying. You might need to be on, and I'm just saying, does this mean we need to be on the move? Because first of all, we don't, some of these people just got elected, right? So they literally gonna be in there for 2 years, just 2 years. Do we need to halt family planning for 2 years until we can get these people out of there, until we can go ahead and hit that next wave of women? We need to go there. Can y'all please go over there and email Stacy or whatever and tell Stacy, listen, where do we need you most? Somebody like Stacey, and I still don't know I don't know her head game. I don't know her head game. Y'all, I promise you I don't know her head game. But, run for president, it's like, that's, all politics is local. Yeah, we need it. For those of y'all who wasn't serious about voting for her, and I know she won the overall thing, but she still had to concede, right? So now, guess what? Your governors are signing these things. Can you imagine if Stacey was signing off on this thing? Let me not say I don't know her head game. I don't know your head game. right? And it's like, okay, she didn't get governor, and then we were like, well, man, we really need her as Senate. But these abortion laws, this ain't even national. These states are doing this. So yeah, we kind of really needed her as governor. So now let me go get mad at y'all again. Like, how did y'all not go vote for governor? How did y'all not get in that line? You had like all this early voting, mail voting, absentee voting. How did you not give us an overwhelming race, knowing that if it came down to such a minute percent between the two of them, that we was gonna end up like this? Okay, and it happened all over the country. So let me not say I don't know her head game. I mean, I might want her to hold her. I might want her to just like, girl, just hang out for a minute. He ain't governor but 4 years. Y'all wait 4 years? Well, here come Petty Betty back with the dog, all running all up in my face. I mean, he's getting ready to go over there and lap up some water. And so let's wrap this thing up again. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to prepare you. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to prepare you. You can escape this. Don't even have to listen. You could have hit that button and went on back over there to Facebook, where we all go to escape what's really going on in the world. But let me tell you, if you go over there and look on Twitter, if y'all go just take a glance over there on Twitter, you're going to find out there's some real topics of discussion happening and going on, some real things going on in our world. And please stop just saying this is women. No, this is women, men, women, and children. This is families. Can we stop saying women and start saying family? Because look, the minute she has conceived, which they have now constituted, that is life, she is a family. That's a hashtag. She is a family. Okay, the dog is like, I can't wait. She ain't ended that podcast knowing I needed some water. This was your inaugural weekend buzz with DryerBuzz. Buzz it or bash it, as long as you share it. All right, y'all have a great day. But do me one last favor.
Go now to DryerBuzz.com and follow @DryerBuzz on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's all about the buzz.